Hi there, let's get the hard part started here, or should I say the fun part. Let's do some graphing. And I'm going to do number 4 first. And I found when I did it before this, it took me kind of about 1.5 graph space. So I'll probably do 5 here, 4 here, work 5 out over here, and then maybe get 6 in the bottom half. We'll see how it goes. But there's quite a few things we need to write out in order to graph these questions. And let's just dive right into it here. So we're going to graph y is equal to negative x squared plus 5. So we're going to create a chart where we have x. In the middle area, we have negative x squared plus 5. Over here, we're going to have y. And then I'm going to add another column, just x, y. So yeah, it's going to take up a little bit of space that way, but we'll get it all worked out here. So remember we said we're going to have 5 points. So I'll do the first point here, give myself some space, second point, third point, fourth point, and the fifth point we'll get down here. Now, I'll help you out a little bit. I know where the vertex is, and you will learn later how to find that. But this particular vertex is at where x is 0. And I will tell you that when you don't have a b value, remember this is ax squared plus bx plus c. All of these are in that form. However, none of them have a b value. Whenever b is not there, that vertex is going to be on the y-axis. Okay, so that means the value of x will be 0 for my vertex. So in the middle here, I'm going to work it out. If x is 0, write this down, negative 0 squared plus 5. Well, that's 0. 0 plus 5 is 5. So that gives me the point 0, 5. Okay, so let's plot that point. 0, 5. Here's origin 0, count up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here's what I know. I know that that's my vertex. Let's label it on the chart. That's the vertex. And I'm going to do a different color here. And would you draw that dashed line down the middle? That vertex is my axis of symmetry. And we're going to use that again to make our life easier in a few minutes. Okay, so I want to pick a point, 2 points on this side of the vertex and 2 points on this side. So let's jump over, let's go over to 3. Let's go over to 3. Let's let x equal 3 and see where that point ends up. Okay, so I'm going to plug in right here. It's the opposite of 3 squared plus 5. All right, well, let's work that out. So that's the opposite. 3 squared is 9. Negative 9 plus 5. Please get all that down on your paper. Try to give yourself some space in there. Negative 9 plus 5 is negative 4. Okay, so that means I've just found the point 3, negative 4. Okay, so let's plot it. 1, 2, 3, and then we go down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this point is on my graph. All right, well, let's find one more point in between here, in between the vertex and 3, and let's try 1. If x is 1, all right, let's plug it in. This means the opposite of 1 squared. Now remember, the reason that's coming out negative, that reason that was negative 9 is because you have to square that before you take the negative. So that squared is 1. The opposite of 1 is negative 1 plus 5. All right, negative 1 plus 5, that's positive 4. So that gives me the point 1, 4. It's a 4. Again, apologies for the writer at home. Does not work as nice as the one at school. Plot the point 1 and then 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you can kind of see this form of that curve developing there. So there's 2 points to the right of the vertex. Well, let's go to the other side of the vertex now. Now, here's from what I told you earlier. If I know that this axis of symmetry, this x is 1, this point right here is right here. That's 1 space away from the axis of symmetry. So I'm going to try to find this point right here. Now, if I do everything correctly, now that's where x is -1, right? So it should be -1, 4, but let's do the math and make sure. Okay, that means if x is -1, let's test it out. Now watch what happens here. Watch the signs carefully. It's the opposite, this symbol here, of -1 squared plus 5. Okay, the opposite, the opposite of 1 squared, or -1 squared means -1 times -1. That means it's +1. But you still have this symbol, -1 plus 5. That's 4. So there it is. There you can see that this point is symmetrical to this point. In other words, these 2 points here are symmetrical. Okay? Well, if that's the case, let's go down here to this one. I just plotted this point a few minutes ago. That's 1, 2, 3 spaces, so let's count 3 the other way. 1, 2, 3. I should have a point right here, but we have to prove it, and that is where x is -1, -2, -3. So it should be -3, -4, but let's prove it. You have to prove it in your chart. Okay, so if I use the equation, the opposite, x squared, would be -3 squared plus 5. Okay, so this right here, that means -3 times -3, which is 9, but you still have this sign right here, which is -9 plus 4. -9 plus 4 is -4. And look, that point is symmetrical to that point. So it is indeed the value. Then you take your pencil and as best you can draw a curve that goes through those lines. It's really hard for me to do with my writer, but that's not a very good one there, but you kind of see the shape of the parabola there, and there is the graph to y equals -x squared plus 5. Okay, so it's quite a bit of work to do one of those. Let's try the middle one. Let's see if I can get through this one in the video, y equals x squared. I'll do this one in red, just so you don't get too confused with it, and I'll try to do it a little bit faster here, since I was teaching you in the other one. X squared minus 4 is my middle, and I'll just do y there and then xy here. That'll work out perfect. All right, so again, the vertex, well, like I told you earlier, since there's no b, the vertex value, the vertex should be where x is 0. If x is 0, y comes out to be -4. We can see that right away, right? 0 squared minus 4 is -4. So that means here's my vertex. 1, 2, 3, 4 is right there, the most important point to graphing. Okay, well, I went ahead and pre-selected some values that work out good for us. I went to x is 3, so that means this would be 3 squared minus 4. That's 9 minus 4, so that's 5. So that's the point 3, 5. All right, let's plot that. Go over 3. 1, 2, 3. Up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a point. And let's try, how about x is 2 this time? All right, that would be 2 squared minus 4. 4 minus 4 is 0. Oh, that's nice. 2, 0. That's right there on my axis. 1, 2, 0. And then let's go to the other side. So again, if I'm smart, if I went over 3 this way, you know what I do need to do? I would like to put in, I'll use blue for the axis of symmetry, because I want to realize that symmetry and use it to be smart when I make my graph. If I go over 1, 2, 3 that way, I should go 1, 2, 3 that way. That should be a point, but you need to show it on your chart. That point should be symmetrical to this value right here. That's where x is 1, 2, -3. So if we take, now the -3 is squared, so it's like that. Now here's where a lot of people have made mistakes. That means -3 times -3. Got ahead of myself. Minus 4 is 5. I knew the answer in my head, but it is. It is the point that is symmetrical to this point right here. So here again, those 2 points are symmetrical. And we can do the same thing with this point. This is over 2. So if I go over 2 this way, -2. And if I do the math, -2 in parentheses squared minus 4 is the same as 4 minus 4, which is 0. And there we have a bad drawing right there. Try to make yours go right through those points. And like I said, it's really hard to do with my writer there, but that's the last two. All right, so there you have it. We got one more to do, so the next video I'll go really fast with it, but let's wrap up the last number 6 here in one more video and we'll be done. See ya.